Hey
Hi,
there.
how are you?
I'm doing well. Doing well. Great to see you, Skyler.
Yes, great to see you too.
Awesome, awesome. In all your glory, I love your smile. Look.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh my
Love you
goodness.
too.
Where are you right now?
I'm in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, but like where?
I'm in my house. I'm in my
Oh, okay,
apartment. I got
okay.
this comfy uh beanbag chair that I felt like would be a good vibe for a nice chat.
Yeah. A chat. I call it a sit down with the CEO.
Yes, I love that. Yes,
CEO
sir. Yes, sir.
Skyler. CEO Skyler. Yeah, I was asking because I heard something in the background, almost like water. I thought you were on the beach or something.
Oh, I wish. No, I have a fan going. It's been raining on and off today, so I figured it would be better to just be in the house. But definitely taking the rain is always an invitation to just rest
Yeah.
and recharge and also reflect on the things I want to release and the things that I want to, you know, put into action when the sun comes back
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. So is that the rain? You're saying it's raining right now?
I'm not sure if it's raining right now, but you might be hearing
It
my
must
fan.
be the fan. It must be the fan in the background. Yeah. So
Hopefully, it's not too loud. It's
it's just a little in the background. I can kind of hear you though. I can kind of hear you.
oh, okay. I could turn it down. Let's see. Is that better?
I think a little better. I think a little better. Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, I really just, this is our first time going live together. I wanted to learn more about you, just learn more about your story, more about your passion, your purpose, like your
Yeah.
interests, you know, like
Yeah.
if somebody was meeting you for the first time, Skylar, like what would you how would you describe yourself?
I would say I'm blessed and grateful first and foremost, because I feel like I have always been in tune with my manifestation abilities, and I'm a entrepreneur. I'm a CEO. I have two businesses right now. I have Sky the Iron Fairy that's registered in New York, and then Sky the Iron Fairy that's registered in Puerto Rico. And both LLCs, um, the first one I've had for a couple years. Um, but basically, I really have a passion for handmade art. I love making clothing, jewelry. I feel like I really have always had a deep love and connection with fashion, and especially like learning more about my ancestry through like taking African art history in college. I learned more about how textiles are based in spiritual references and spiritual connections with God. Like, for example, like in West Africa, the Akan people, they um, like kente cloth. I'm sure you've heard of and seen. Like it resonates with royalty, and then they actually um, print different symbols on the clothing to represent parts of themselves, their personality, prayers to God, prayers for protection, letting people know that they're strong, that they're courageous. There's so much history in like clothing and body adornment being more than just something we put on the flex, but actually, especially when it's made by hand, um, it can hold a lot of spiritual meaning and allow it to be a reminder for us to, have that constant communion with God and with each other and express ourselves and show up for ourselves as our true authentic selves. So um, yeah, I'm very passionate. I've always been just super artsy, and I decided that I wanted to build generational wealth by utilizing my art and my passions. It's something I'm very passionate about, for sure.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. I love it. So, you know,
Yeah.
like you're saying, the things you put on your flesh, you don't just put it on to flex. You-
Yes. Come on now.
You said it's that royalty resonance.
Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely.
That's dope. I love it. I love the movement. I love,
Mhm.
seeing it like and how it's also connected to ancestry and just that royalty and the lineage, just like, coming from queens, coming from kings, coming from, you know,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, I mean, our history is so rich and it's so diverse. And I think, that's a constant call in my heart to keep learning and to keep educating myself, and also just using my gifts as a way to, like, start that research, like what resonates with me, and learning more about that helps me learn more about my history, because I'm like, this is so much, why it resonates with me, allows me to like directly connect with another ancestor that was passionate about that. And it's really
yeah,
beautiful to live my life
yeah,
that way.
yeah, yeah. And I see all the designs, I've seen like the waist beads, the thigh beads, and then you even got the crochets,
Yeah,
So it,
yeah.
it's a lot that goes into it.
Absolutely. I started with crochet. That was my first. So Skyler in New York was strictly crochet. I did do waist beads with that business. Uh, I just really, like I said, fashion's always my first love. So actually creating clothing um, really resonated. And then it kind of evolved when I moved out here. I realized I needed to be able to make products and sell products quickly, because I'm like, I want to be able to pay all of my expenses with my business, which is something I wasn't able to do in New York, because crochet is a very slow fashion. It takes hours and hours and hours and hours to do. So, with moving to Puerto Rico officially last year, I was like, okay, I have to create something, create pieces that are easy for me to make, but also allow me to still express my spiritual, creative art. And waist beads really resonated because, again, it's a African tradition. It's like a feminine coming of age, like prayer for your yoni type body adornment that holds a lot of spiritual purpose. You're supposed to pray over them. And really, um, you know, I've heard a lot of different things. I know that traditionally they're tied on, so they break off. So women use them to track their waistline for, like if she was preparing for pregnancy or trying to track her weight loss after pregnancy, postpartum, or weight loss during any time. So there's, you know, getting into the functional and spiritual uses of clothing and body adornment is really like where I've anchored my business. And um, I think that, yeah, it's just been growing, and I'm so excited to just get back into it after being in school. Cause I'm forgetting I do so much. I'm also studying fashion business management at FIT online.
Whoa.
Yeah, the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City has an online program, and I've been doing that on top of running my business. And so I just finished my spring semester,
Wow.
And so now I can fully focus on my business again, and I'm really excited for that.
Man, congrats on finishing, you know.
Thank you.
Strong.
Thank
You wear many hats, you know. It's like you're juggling, you know.
you. Yes, yes, it's definitely uh, a challenge at times. I definitely had a whole mental breakdown last week, and I think that what keeps me going is just remembering to be grateful for all of it, because I asked for this. I asked to be a millionaire. I asked to have successful business. I asked to, also be able to get a degree and to live where I want to live. So everything that comes with that, I have to also be grateful for. So yeah,
That's that's tough. Like just that really is gratitude, you know, the willingness to be grateful for it all,
yeah,
not just the big and or the small, but like the good, the bad, the happy, the sad, like everything that comes with, you know, your climb, like everything that comes with your expansion, everything that
yeah.
comes. So I didn't even know you're teaching me so much right now, Skyler. I didn't know. Say again?
I say yay.
You are, you really are. Like I didn't know about the functionality of the beads and the functionality
Yeah.
and just the application in relation to how people use them over the years. And then also it just really sounds like you put a lot of energy into it, a lot of care, a lot of just consciousness into your creations. And especially with the crochet, you said it takes hours and hours and hours and hours. So what has it taught you about patience when you're doing your crochet creations?
Lovely, you should ask. I mean, I've had projects where I've had to restart them more than once, like completely unwind everything and restart from scratch. And it definitely is a labor of love. It definitely is something that, uh, you know, does take that concentration. But I feel like um, overall, I think just focusing on making sure my mind and my heart are in the right place, because I think about the person that I'm making it for. I think about what intentions they would want me to put into the design, whether it's, more confidence, whether it's connecting with their femininity, whether it's healing, whether it's protection. I put that intention into what I'm doing and really try to take myself out of it as much as I can, in order to really create something that is going to be a blessing to them. I feel like that's why um, my pieces resonate so much, and I like the responses I get from the people that I serve is so overwhelmingly positive and sending so much love my way, and it's received with so much gratitude. But I also know, like, they feel the energy that I put into the pieces, so it's a just a give and take. It's like a beautiful cycle of gratitude.
Yeah. Are those some of your proudest moments? Like when you get compliments from people or when you feel that people are receiving the energy of your creations, like what are your proudest moments?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually gonna be posting like way more pictures and videos of like more of my recent selling of the body adornment, waist beads, necklaces, bracelets, and stuff. Uh, Because I definitely, it does fill my heart with so much love to see people excited and happy. Especially what I love doing the most is custom work. So, where someone comes to me and they're like, I like these colors, or I want this intention, and they give me free reign to just create. And those are really fulfilling moments, because I think that they feel that I've heard them and I see them, and I also truly want to, you know, put my best into it. And I do believe that um, you know, it's definitely a really special moment. Like I've had a lot of experiences of people just really warming my heart with just how much love they show and appreciation. And I think for me, it's just the fact that I can do this, you know, the fact that I can create my art and, you know, market it and have it also not lose its, not try to compete or compare with anyone else, but simply just do what I feel on my heart to do. Um, that's so rewarding for me.
Yeah. They say authenticity has no competition, you know?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like we have so much to learn from each other. I never want to anybody to ever feel like they have to compete with anyone else, even if you're doing the same thing. Like there's hundreds, thousands, millions of crochet designers around the world, and I want to be able to, you know, reach and impact everyone, not just people that want to buy stuff from me, but people who I can teach something or give them advice, or just, you know, people who just want to watch me do what I do, who might draw inspiration from me being my authentic self and not just, you know, going with the status quo, but creating my own lane. I think is something that we're all capable of doing, and I want to encourage more people to do.
Right, right, right. I love it, you know, and they say with creating your own lane, they say you'll never find traffic in the extra mile.
Yes. No
When-
traffic.
when-
Who doesn't love no traffic, right?
yeah, there's no traffic, you know, when you go the extra mile, you know, because
Exactly.
not many people are willing to go the extra mile. So when it came to, you know, coming from New York to Puerto Rico, I'm imagining that the pace is very different. Like, what is the pace like in New York versus in Puerto Rico?
Well, I would say because I went to school in New York City. I grew up in upstate New York, which is definitely more rural, more calm, small town. Um, but in New York City, it's definitely like you're trying to just crank out art. You're trying to like, there's so much to do and there's so much opportunity to work with different major brands and to do campaigns and to work with models and put shows together. Like you can really do everything in New York. You could be doing something every single night of the week. Um, I feel like coming out here, I've had to learn, put learning at the forefront. And that's something that has been enriching to my life because it also has helped me with my patients because everything is a little bit different here. Even though Puerto Rico is a part of the United States, it's still treated like a foreign country. So the way of going about registering a business, about just um, a lot of things is very different. Also, getting through the language barrier, working in different markets that have like vendor tables, and sort of understanding kind of the politics of navigating in those spaces because a lot of times I felt like um, it's been hard because I feel that sometimes, I mean, there's spaces that people want to support local indigenous artists, and I definitely also want to support local indigenous artists. So it's very like sometimes I feel like, you know, I may not be wanted or I may not feel that it's my place to take space in those spaces. Um, so I feel like again, just putting learning at the forefront, continuing to learn the language, continuing to communicate with people and let them know that my full intention is to truly spread love and to also empower people to charge more for their art, to allow your art to be your main source of income because it's possible for everyone to make their passion and their purpose their provider. You know, I feel like we've, I mean, everywhere in the world, we're taught to just, you know, get a job. And I think that for me, I find a lot of empowerment in entrepreneurship and in um, being able to dictate how I want to like navigate my schedule and my resources and bet on myself, you know? So definitely learning as opposed to like just, I think in New York it's more so just trying to seize every opportunity because there's so many. I think out here I've had to learn and to focus on just my inner growth as well to make sure I'm spiritually sound so that I feel confident in myself and able to continue to show up. So, yeah.
Right. You know, it comes off that way that you portray yourself, the way that you stand power, like it really radiates confidence.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, when you're talking about these things, like the main differences in the pace and just feeling like you need to be more spiritually aligned, and then also learning the language. It's a lot of things that you're doing at the same time, but you're handling it. You're handling it gracefully.
Some days better than others, for sure.
Okay,
That's
okay.
why, I mean, Qigong has been so helpful to me. Like, honestly, it's really helped ground me at the beginning of my day. I really struggled with anxiety and have getting out of that New York flow where it's like go, 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 go,
Mm.
go. Here, I've learned to just relax. Sometimes just go to the ocean, just sit by the water, breathe. Yeah.
Yeah, and you talked about entrepreneurship, Skylar, and I know on your profile it says Afropreneur, you know? So what would you say are the main differences between an entrepreneur and an Afropreneur?
For me, I feel a sense of liberation and reclaiming when it comes to being an entrepreneur because I truly believe that entrepreneurship is one of the most powerful and important pillars of wealth building. I believe that it's important for um, communities throughout the diaspora to invest in themselves, invest in their purpose, invest in their passions, and to fully believe that, with each other's support, we can help to, you know, create that generational wealth, create, empowered communities that have a say in how they want to live and how they want their children to be educated and how they want to experience life, to not have to be, you know, I think breaking free of any ideals that don't apply or protect our communities in any way. Like, I feel like it's really important. I feel that I'm making my ancestors proud by following my entrepreneurship path and allowing it to take me to my destination. I feel very confident in the fact that I've been blessed throughout this entire experience. Absolutely.
Yeah,
She knows.
you see,
Yes, you know the vibes.
yeah, yeah. She echoes you. She echoes you, Skylar. She said, entrepreneurship is the way to financial stability. You know? Yeah.
And I really also feel it's important to say, like, wealth is not any specific amount of money. It's not, you know, a certain, it's not the house you live in, it's not the car you drive, it's a feeling of security that you can provide for yourself and for your family without having to worry about where your next dollar is going to come from. It's having a system of abundance working for you, that you put love into the system, you get love out of the system. And love and, energy exchanges can come in the form of, like, for example, I'm offering like photography services to my friend and she's going to do my hair in return. Like, that's community. That's still abundance. That's still give and take. So it's very much, I think that we've been taught that money is bad and money changes people, and and that's why I feel like people have a hard time pricing for their services the way that they should, because we do deserve to get what we feel like we put into it. And if we're making an investment on the front, we need to see that money come back. And that empowers us to keep going and to keep creating. So it's very important to me to encourage people to believe in their art and treat their art like they, know that it's going to grow and take them where they want to go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You remind me, Skyler, just as we were talking, one of my friends was here the other day, and his name is Dennis. He's from Croatia, but he's been traveling the world, and he's a wonderful artist, really dope artist. He does, graffiti, like graphic designs, and he even left me a yantra over here. It's really trippy. But
Yes.
when he was in Costa Rica recently, he drew out some that barter system like you did with the photography for someone doing your hair. He
Mm-hmm.
did with his drawing for a meal, like for food.
Uh,
So even though they couldn't really understand or really comprehend that it took him over a decade to get to the skill of drawing, he
yes.
gave it to them, and they were asking him, like, how much do you want? Because they had a food system where it was either, a single portion or a double portion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when he gave her the drawing, you know, she was like, okay, like, how much do you want for it? He was like, you decide. I'm gonna let you decide. He was, hmm. You know, she looked at his drawing and she was single or a double,
Yeah.
single or a his heart was like crushed, he was like, like it was hurting him just for her to think about it, just for her to think, is it worth a double portion of a meal, for this art? But he accepted, and she gave him the double. She did give him
Of course she did. I know how it goes. I know how it goes,
right.
because that's honestly, I think that, again, just showing up and saying, like, this is what I do. I don't have a job on the side. Like, I'm an artist. And I think when you show up like that, even if you don't necessarily are always out front with your prices, I think carrying yourself in that energy, I do see a lot of my customers tipping extra, or just, showing love on top of like helping me to create content through sending me photos or allowing me to do photos of them. And so it's like, I do believe that people feel when you are putting that extra love and that extra care out, that they want to reciprocate, and it empowers them to reciprocate, because the more you give, the more blessings you got coming to you. So when you give that extra couple dollars, or do something that you don't necessarily have to do, I think people feel that and they want to show that love back. And I think that that's really where a lot of the blessings come from.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. I agree with you, Sky. And that's actually one of the things I admire about you and I respect you for. I respect you for that because you have, on more than one occasion, just shouting you out, like, you've given that energy exchange, you've given that love. Like, it's been reciprocal when you've joined Qigong, and not everybody is like that. You know, not everybody is that way, that they feel a need to reciprocate that energy, or just, you know, have that exchange in that way. So I do want to tell you I appreciate you for that. You know,
I appreciate you too. Thank you for that.
seriously, seriously. And you know, as you were speaking as well, Nabiha, she put down, what you put out is what you get back. And
Absolutely.
she said, not all money is good money.
Ain't that the truth?
How does that resonate? How does that resonate with you?
It resonates because I mean, also selling in person is something that's completely new for me. I set up my table and I just set up my art and I just am on the street selling. I don't, say, hey, come look at what I got to anybody. If they come to the table and look at my stuff, I'm happy that I actually have a sign on my table that says, please touch with love, or por favor tocar con amor, which is, to me, like, I do everything with love and I'm putting intention into these pieces. So if you do not have good intention, if you're trying to come over and hate on what I'm doing, don't touch my stuff. You can look, you can be nosy, that's fine, but don't touch it. And people I feel like they feel the magic and the positive love, light, energy, all my stuff, because they will sometimes just look and then they'll be like, oh, thank you. Like, they won't touch it. And I just have to trust that spirit is protecting me from people that um, don't necessarily resonate. Not to say that, um, you know, I feel it's not my place to judge anyone ever, and that's a constant um, thought that rings in my head, of just make sure I'm always just showing up as love. It is never my place to judge anybody, and if someone to comes to me when I'm selling and they have a negative energy about them, like, I've had someone be really rude to me before, and then he wanted to buy something. I said, no, I
Wow.
don't want your money. I don't want your money, because, I mean, long story short, like, he was just trying to, like, pick apart, like, what I was doing, and say, like, um, just being weird and difficult. And I was just like, no, that's fine. That's fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's integrity, you know?
Yeah.
That's like spiritual integrity. You're saying, like, you know, it's okay. I don't need your money. It's okay. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh.
Uh,
That's the magic of it. It's like, it's important to not get mixed up in a scarcity mindset, to know that it's abundance, and so that if as long as it feels good, to allow as many people as possible to participate in that flow. But some people, it's just, they're not at that point in their healing journey. They're still in the darkness, and that darkness can sometimes pull us into destructive wavelengths,
right.
and that destruction spreads like fire.
Mm.
So it's really important to, you know, I I really do have mostly really positive, genuine connections. Most of my customers, like, I hug them, and I'm just so happy to see them happy. Um, so it's very rare that I feel that someone just needs to stay far away.
Yeah, you know, just the boundaries, boundaries still, So when you're saying, I like what you said, Skylar. You said, por favor, tocar con amor.
The- or it might be tocar por. I think the por favor might be at the end,
But
technically.
I got it.
But on the thing, I have it first.
But it rhymes. I mean, I like how por favor,
Yeah.
tocar con amor.
Okay. See, see.
Yeah, that's dope. And you're just like, please touch with love.
Yes. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. You can touch, you can look. Because a lot of people, sometimes they will just come up and they'll touch something and they're like, I love this. They might not feel it in their heart to buy it, but the appreciation for it, I think, is also wanted and needed and appreciated by me. So, and the person that will ultimately wear it, you know? So I think that it's important to again, like, let people know, like, respect my art, you know? Respect me as the artist and know that, you know, this is going to be a blessing for someone. So if you don't want to participate in that, you know, you can appreciate it.
Yeah, I respect that. You know, when you're talking about Skyler, like these themes of prosperity, wealth, abundance, you know, that flow, like all these themes. And you said before that, you know, it hasn't been a straight line. Like there's been ups and downs and dips and curves and ins and outs and back and forths. And you said that you had to embrace it all, you had to face it all. And
Yes.
you said this is what I asked for. You know, I asked to be a millionaire. I asked for this. I asked for that. So when did you stake that claim to yourself? Like I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to make this happen. Like when was the moment that you said this is what I'm going to do, regardless?
I think a few years ago, like, I think it's kind of always been in me to shoot for the stars. I think ever since I was a kid, like, I just wanted to be the best me that I possibly could be. And so, you know, really committing to being a millionaire at first, I feel like I'm still on the journey to understanding everything that comes with that, because I think that learning how to manage money, learning how to manage $1, learning how to manage $10, learning how to manage $100, like all of that are steps to that, and I feel that um, it's been a journey of healing, truly, because I think that the biggest barrier to wealth in a lot in our communities, I would argue, is confidence, is really believing that your spirit is aligned with a level of wealth that is secure and is stable, because you can get a lot of money, you can be given a lot of money, you can earn a lot of money, but what makes people lose it quicker than they got it, is that feeling of that lack of self worth, that lack of, you know, feeling like, oh, I, I, you know, I don't know if, like, you know, all these uncertain feelings, because it's something that's foreign to a lot of us. I know that entrepreneurship for me, like, I'm one of very few entrepreneurs in my family, and it can feel very isolating. It can feel like, you know, sometimes people advice, even if they mean well, can discourage you or um, make you feel like you're, you know, you're going on a path of higher resistance. Like, it's very, it grinds you down to like, like the core of you. And I really feel like I've been able to address a lot of my um, issues with self worth through going on this journey to acquire wealth. Like, I think it's really, it's it's been a lot more spiritual than I could have ever imagined. It's not, because again, we grow in how, you know, artist that I love, I think, what's her name? She talks about money being, you know, you have a relationship with money. You build that connection, and it's simply just a form of flow, and it's a currency, it's a frequency that we can tap into at any point. And we choose how we tap into that currency, whether we get a job, whether we decide to sell a product or to offer a service. we connect with that currency, and that requires there to be minimal blockages. And so then it's just a domino effect. Like, okay, in order to have $1 million, I need to have, multiple sources of income. In order to have multiple sources of income, I need to be organized. In order to be organized, I need to learn what organization looks like. It's like I feel like I work backwards whenever I'm examining my bigger goals, and that helps me a lot. But also acknowledging that grace and patience and all the things that breath work, meditation, prayer helps me do. um, that is what is the in between of all those little steps. That's what keeps me going from step to step to step to step, and not feeling I'm I'm so far or I'm so close. Like it's a step to step to step to step, and prayer, meditation, breath work, between everything, and just stopping to celebrate everything that I've accomplished, how far I've come. Like it's there's a lot of layers, I think, more so than not. Again, like that's why the Afropreneur really resonates, because it's like I feel like I'm healing a lot of trauma through this journey, and it's just been so fulfilling.
Yeah,
So
it
fulfilling.
sounds like so. Thank you for that testimony. Thank you for
Yes.
expressing this because it's a real testimony, for your living, learning, and the constant learning, for the constant growth, that there's really no end. It just keeps going because I love how you say, Scott, don't lose sight of where you're going, but also don't forget where you came from. And
Yes.
don't forget how far you've come. Even when somebody's like walking, taking steps, right? Baby steps up a mountain, and they can see like, wow, this thing is high. There's a lot, like there's still a lot left to go. But then
Mhm.
you look back and you're like, dang, I came all
Right.
I came all this way, like I came all the way up here.
Right.
Dang.
Yeah.
So it's that appreciation, just taking that moment to appreciate where
Mhm.
you are. Yeah.
Yeah. Stopping to rest, stopping to, because rest also, I've learned how active rest is, especially when we're talking about having being an ambitious person. I think that as ambitious people, as creatives, we want to get to the end goal as fast as possible. And I definitely resonate with that. But I feel like rest is so important as a creative, because resting to me is honoring the fact that I live in a body, and my body is meant to be sleep for a certain amount of hours a day. And I need to acknowledge the fact that if my brain is going, I'm not giving myself an opportunity to connect with source, to have that moment of pause, to get that divine wisdom, that inspiration to be able to put into my art. I think that it's important to, you know, do that cheat check, to really like be like, I don't feel good today. So maybe today is the day where I just sit down,
Right.
you know? And that is so impactful, because when you stand up again, you're gonna have more energy. You're gonna be able to come at it with more love, and not sink into that scarcity mindset of, if I don't keep going, that everything's gonna, like, no.
Right.
Your tribe, your community, your supporters, everyone wants you to be your best self, because that's when you have the most to offer, the most to give, for yourself and for everyone else. So I
Right.
really prioritize rest, and it's been a game changer.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Just honoring that, honoring that for yourself, honoring that for your health, because, pouring from a full cup, being able to pour a cup that
Yes.
is full and just overflowing instead of a cup that's on its last little dregs, you know, little drops,
Yes.
you're trying to like, dang.
Yeah. No, because that last sip is never satisfying because you always feel like, no, I gotta get more. You know,
Yeah.
everybody can relate to when you having your favorite drink and you want that last sip. You like, dang, I wish this wasn't my last sip. We gotta treat our energy like that. We gotta make sure that we're always on full. Whatever, it could be just watching a show, reading a book. Like for me, I love going on runs. I love like just doing anything to really connect. I mean, meditation. There's so many ways to just recenter, reground. So yeah,
That's a huge parallel, and I love your analogies because even like there used to be days in the past where, I'd be driving and I don't know where I picked up this habit, Skylar. To this day, I don't know where I had this habit. I
right.
had a habit of having my gas tank on E. All
Ooh,
I don't know why. I don't know where I got it from, but even if there was money in my wallet, like even if there was money in my bank, my gas would be on E, and I would just run it all the way on E before I tried to put anything in it. You know,
wow.
so you'd be double taking, you'd be looking for the nearest gas station. Sometimes you'd forget about it in
Mm,
your mind, and you'd be like, it would be a panic mode. Like,
yes.
am I gonna break down on the highway? Like, I'm stuck in
Come
traffic.
on.
Get there. Like, I need to get there. So
Right.
to have your energy just on full and not all the time on E. Yeah, yeah,
Abundance, abundance. Because it's like, I feel that I think that we want to keep going on E. We want to feel like, oh, if I push through this, it'll be worth it. But if we get where we're trying to go and we still know that like we're not full, we don't feel good, like you still have that anxiety of like, well, I made it to where I'm trying to go, but I need to get gas later. Like it's and keep putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. Like you are running the risk of having that breakdown at a really inconvenient time. And I think that, you know, it's never a good time to have an emotional breakdown. Like I said, I had one last week and it was, you know, it was needed though, because I really felt like after that, I realized like, okay, I need to breathe and I need to not put so much pressure on myself to try to do everything as fast as I feel like I should and just do my best and just let it happen when it's supposed to happen and stop, eat, pray on it, pray for strength, pray for concentration, pray for wisdom
yeah,
and let it come to you.
yeah. Speaking of prayer, Skylar, like you said, praying, meditating, breath work, these things, these modalities, these methods that you use to be more faith. You know, earlier you know, you mentioned honoring the ancestors. You mentioned listening to spirit, and you mentioned connecting with source.
Mm,
Talking about the ancestors, spirit, and source, are all these things synonymous or are they different?
I do believe that there is a God. I believe that through studying religion, Christianity being one that I was brought up on, I think that in every holy text, there are a lot of similarities and similar truths of what we should all strive for in terms of laying the foundation of a good life and of treating people with love and respect and allowing that to flow through your life. I think um, I use God and Source synonymously, but I also feel that ancestors are also with me in terms of the ancestors that I have met, that I haven't met, the ancestors that I know their names, that I don't know their names. Because unfortunately, as an African American woman, a lot of my ancestry has been lost intentionally. Um, so I feel like knowing that I have this whole other like spiritual support system that is with me at all times. Like I have warriors and guides and healers that are watching over me and protecting me at all times. That fills me with just this sense of calm and this sense of security that, even if I stumble into situations and um, new places that I'm not familiar with, um, that I am being guided, to go through that experience and to gain that wisdom and to gain that clarity. So I definitely, I believe that we all have more than one spiritual guide, and I really am, like I said, learning, reading the Bible, reading um, just more about my ancestry in Africa and here, in order to really honor those who came before me and those who sacrificed everything for me to be able to live the life that I live today.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can't Brennan. We can't, you know. It, I, I love what you said, Skylar, about the you have like a triple S. You said your spiritual support system. You know,
Yes.
full support system less, you know? You're supported, you're guided, you're protected. You're protected. Yeah. That's amazing. You know, I love that you honor that and you pay homage to that, you respect that, and you don't neglect that, you know?
Right. We're not, even though we are alone in most of our movements through this life, we're never alone. And I think like it's important to acknowledge that none of us are here by mistake. None of us are just here just to be here. Like, life could be taken from us at any moment. Like, I just lost a family member, and seeing that ripple through my entire family, I think it's inspired us all to, appreciate and acknowledge the people that are here for us. Sometimes we forget that we do have family that loves us, that are cheering us on, even if we don't talk to them, um, and even chosen family, and especially those spirit guides, like they are the ones, like sort of really helping to guide us, especially when we listen to our intuition and not lean on our own understanding. um, that is something that can really allow magic to happen. Like the more I try to control less and trust more, that is when I feel those blessings and those breakthroughs come through at higher velocity, because I I've had so much, so many experiences, and just I'm so grateful for everything.
You know, or that time you just mentioned, you know, it was very recent that you had a loss in your family. Is that how you were able to make it through that time? I know you're still, you know, still making it through this time, but what were you able to hold on to keep you going?
Yeah. Um, I feel that once we enter this realm, this planet, this solar system, our energy is created. You know, it's probably our energy is created before we're even created. Like I feel that, you know, one of the laws of, you know, science is like energy that's created cannot be destroyed. And so I really believe that I, you know, the person I lost was my grandmother. And um, I, I wanted to have a closer relationship with her, but because of different things that, you know, just squabbles within my family, it felt like it never felt like the right time. And so there was no more time left. And so in going through processing that loss and still processing that loss, I feel comforted by the fact that her energy is still here on this earth and it's actually more free and more limitless because she can be everywhere. She can be in the heartbeat of the newborn that's growing in my sister's belly. She can be with me in Puerto Rico and experience my life as a, you know, young woman and being able to have an experience that, you know, she never had because she had 6 sons at a young age that she had to take care of. And then my grandfather died very young, so she was a single mother for the majority of her life. And so to be able to really live my best life, I know that there are so many people living through me and healing through me that are here and that are gone. And so that keeps me going. That is what inspires me to dance, to praise, to, you know, have that moment of meditation because it's like I don't have to be here. Like I'm here for a reason and it's important for me to enjoy every second that I'm here and to acknowledge that none of this is just for me. You know, I think I generational wealth can go a step further in terms of like healing the generations that came before you because having the luxury to focus on your healing, having the luxury to meditate and to have daily spiritual practices like your Qigong class or like, um, you know, praying, to not have to go from job to job or to have to take care of children at a young age. Like, all of these things are a luxury. And I think that that to me also helps me to heal and to keep going so that I can continue to make her proud.
You are, you are, you know?
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, that was actually going to be the last question that I had for you, Skylar. When you mentioned Qigong, you've been so consistent, you know? Like I just seeing your name pop up whenever I go live, I see Skylar with an E, you know? In
Yes.
and you immediately you drop, you know, peace and love or blessings and gratitude, or you just immediately drop the love inside the chat when you come in. So yeah. Bloop, bloop. You just drop it in. So
Gotta.
my last question, what do you feel you've gained or you've maintained, or what have you gotten from the practice of Qigong that that keeps you strong, or that that you want to keep growing, that
Yeah.
encourages you to keep going?
Yes. What about Qigong keeps me going on? I got you. I would say I encourage people always to not think of meditation or spiritual practices to be one way. I think that that's one of the main narratives in the spiritual community that needs to be deconstructed. You don't necessarily have to be super into yoga. You don't necessarily have to be the person that sits in silence to meditate. There's meditation music and there's meditation practices. And I feel like Qigong is something for me where I'm describing it to somebody is a very active form of meditation for people who have active minds, who need that physical, who need that physical movement to affirm the intention that they're setting on creating that, like syncing up with that energy of peace, of whatever their intention is, actually, moving your arms at the flow of your breath, like acknowledging that we have energy around us at all times and we can draw from that energy. We can pull energy down from heaven. We can draw energy up from the earth. I think that physical, you know, the physical movement aspect of it is very um, affirming to the intentions that I set, and I truly do feel more grounded as long as I go into it with the mindset of, you know, going to commit to being fully present. Um, I think that it really has transformative abilities. And I encourage people to find and explore as many spiritual practices resonates because it really, Qigong has been something that has really been such a blessing for me. And I'm so glad my friend Erica, who you just pinned, she was the one that first showed me your live. And we were just like both smiling in joy, laughing because of the fact that you show up authentically every day and making your jokes and your rhymes. And, it's like he's really like this every day. It's amazing to see, like, the consistency that you bring to the community and tribe that you're building around yourself is just really beautiful. And I feel blessed to be a part of it.
Wow, that means everything. That means everything.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Just really, I received that. Like, thank you for that affirmation, and thank you for that confirmation. Like you said, it's different strokes for different folks. Like some people have an active mind, like me. I definitely have a very active mind, and the movement and breath, it helps me too. So, every time we do this together, I feel better as well. Like after it's over, I'm already healed. It's
Right.
too. So I'm glad that we can share it. You know.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
If somebody is listening to you, Skylar, and they're like, wow, I love this girl. I love what she's about. I love her vibe. She's here for the tribe. She's keeping the vibe, like, let me find out where I can get her creations or maybe even plug in, tune in with you. Where would you like people to go? Do you have a website for your offerings, for your services?
Right now, thank you for that. Right now, I don't have a website. I am solely operating on social media, so you can follow the Instagram that I'm going live from now, which I think is Skyler with an E. And then I also have Sky the Yarn Fairy, which is just strictly like my business postings. You can see more of the products I offer, um, and I also have like I have accounts on pretty much all different platforms: TikTok, YouTube. Um, I I do have an Etsy, but I have very few products on there because um, I've been wanting to upload more, but then I sell it in person, so then it's not present anymore. So I think that I'm really excited to be able to show up more online, to be able to reach and inspire and connect with more people around the world. Um, so I would say, yeah, my Instagram definitely is going to be a good spot. And I always have my links in my bio. So once I do have a website up, it will be in there as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you for showing up today. So you inspired me. So I know you inspired
Yeah.
yourself. You know, I know that
Yeah.
we're inspired by this, and just keep going. You know, keep going, don't stop. And I'm just what you know. I can't wait to see where you go from here.
Thank you so much. And same to you. I feel very inspired by you. And it's been such a blessing to have made this connection. And I'm excited for the future as well.
Hey, well, just blessings. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Yes, you too.
Yeah, take care.
Great. Take care.